Here's an example of a stack of flowers that have been pressed and are now dry, that I have put into books that I add labels to, so that I know whether it's flowers or leaves, and then what kinds of flowers or leaves are contained in each pile. I do put a book on top just to add a little bit of weight to keep them flat during time when they're being stored. But let me give you an example. So these are leaves on the first pile. It's leaves, and I can tell that there's some fennel and some silver color leaves in here. And here's some alpine lady's mantle. This is fennel. And so you can see this whole little booklet has got leaves in it. And I stack them closer to each other when I do permanent storage once they're dry. So you can see there's one sheet. I've got a few pieces of paper between. Here's another sheet. It's fern, more fennel. Here's some of those silverish color leaves. This was the Artemisia. I love peeking at flowers. Dusty Miller. See, they're darker on one side, and then more lighter on the other. I do have a few flowers in here just because I needed to fill up the page. This is Coral Bell. And some more ferns. I don't really like them to overlap, but sometimes they will. Here's a larger fern section. Boston fern. Now in this one, it's got flowers. It looks like I got a lot of different kinds in there. Hydro, phlox, biddens, pansies, lobelias. Let's take a little sneak peek there. Okay, here's some lobelia, kind of a purplish color. Blue. There's a little Coral Bell. More lobelia. This is verbena. You want to be real careful when you take them off. I should be using tweezers. But there's the right side. It's the back side. I seem to press flowers facing down. When they're open face, I seem to put them face down with the back sides up. It just ends up that way. They end up, for the most part, pressing better. I just determine which way I'm going to face them when I'm actually pressing them. This is the right side, and this is the back side. Okay, here's some hydrangea. These were pressed in profile. When you press hydrangea early in the season, and these were fairly early, especially if they haven't any white on them, you can see on this one that the center is, they kind of turn more toward cream, a creamy, slightly brownish tinge. And I don't like them if they get too brown. This one would be acceptable to me, but if they get too brown, I won't use them. As you get later in the season and they get a little bit more mature, but yet are still flawless blossoms, then they hold their color better, and you don't get that browning. But these were early in the season. This was a clematis petal. It's a very, very big flower, and I just wanted to see how they held their color. I didn't really pick too many of these, but this is a petal. You can see how big it is. Oh, here's some phlox. Phlox are very sheer. They're pretty. They hold their color okay. I got to get a pair of tweezers. Hold on a minute. Keep our marker spot. Okay, I'm back with tweezers. You really got to be careful when you take these off of the page because you can tear them. You've really got to be careful when you take these off the page because you can tear them really easily. So you really have to. I'm not going to do it right now because I would need it to be in a different position to do it appropriately, and filming right now makes it hard, so, and I don't want to tear that. But let me see if I can get this off there without having to reorientate myself. Yeah, I can. But look at how beautiful that is. They're really pretty. I like phlox. So you can see I press them in profile, and this one has a larger blossom as well as the bud. And then here is open-faced. Here's some more buds. Here's a different color. This is more of a reddish, purplish color. This is more of a bluish, dark bluish navy color. Some more hydrangea. More hydrangea. More hydrangea. That was just an experiment. I don't know what these are. First time I've ever pressed them. They were a white flower. I oftentimes am reluctant to press whites because they'll turn more brown. These are interesting. Maybe I'll find something to do with them. Like I said, it's a ground cover. The bees really like to get into the flowers and get the nectar out of them. Again, I don't remember what they're called, but I did a test page, and that's how they turned out, whatever they are. Here's some pansies. You have to be careful when you remove pansies because the center has a lot of nectar in them, and so what I do on flowers that want to stick a little bit is get the tweezers up there, and then you see how I'm kind of twisting it a little bit back and forth. I'm turning it clockwise, counterclockwise. And then get up under there as you're twisting, and then they'll come off. So I'm going to do this one. Get up under there. See how I'm twisting a little bit? But you really want to be careful. And then here, let's see, this is a bidden, same thing. The center's going to be sticking to the page. That came off pretty easy. That's the front. There's another pansy. See if I can get it off there without breaking it. Yeah, so you just want to be careful. I mean, if you do break it, you can still use the petals or put them back together when you're doing arrangements. But see, you want to really be careful. Okay, so that's bidden and pansy. More lobelia. Here's a, I don't know, I call it a pinwheel verbena. It's got different colors in it. It's got the, can't see it against this brown background, but there's another color here. It's kind of an off-white cream color. Reminds me of a candy cane. Here's some more pansies. Okay. Here's some a different coral bell. This is more red than some of the other ones that I have. Here's the alyssum. And here's Alyssum bud. For the mini arrangements. It's an Alyssum bud. And here's some more lobelia. I pressed the florets as well as the buds. But anyway, some more verbena. This is Grace Ward. Grace Ward doesn't really hold its color very well. I mean, you can see these are more of a bluish color when they're live, but once they're pressed, they right away lose their color. Here's some lupin, pink. More lupin. Here's some blue lupin. I don't know why, but this year these lupin, the blue ones, the pink ones pressed okay, but these blue ones are kind of brownish. You can see a lot of brown on there, and I rotated the flowers quickly, and even once I found out they browned, I mean, even the next day I took them out of the paper sandwich and rotated them for air, but they still browned. So I don't know what was the problem this year with these lupin, but I'm not at all happy with these blue lupin, so I'm not sure if I'll be using them or not. I have pressed blue lupin in the past, and they turned out fine, just like the pink. They didn't brown up at all. And here's some blue verbena, and this is florets from marigolds, and they are beautiful as accents in pictures, and they hold their color for a really, really long time. So don't be afraid to press florets when they otherwise wouldn't press, because there's parts of the flower that are so thick. Just press the petals. Go through real quickly a couple more, see if there's anything else in this particular bundle. Oh, yeah, okay. This is Lady Bradshaw Geum. Oh, these are beautiful. And this is, what was this? I'm not going to be able to get that off unless I use two hands, and I don't want to break it, but it is a, I can't remember what it is, but I know it's really pretty. Here's a daisy, English daisy, Morbidden. I should probably show you what I mean by needing two hands. Let me move this out of the way. See what book this is in. Okay, when I say I need two hands, what I'm talking about is I need to get up under here with this other hand, and I need to roll it back and not even use the tweezers. And I'm going to hold it here with this thumb, and I'm going to roll that back because it's really sticking. And I'm rolling it back, and that's how I get it off of there without breaking the flower. And now that I've seen what this is a this is an anemone. Those press really good, hold their color for a long time. I have a hard time growing them, but when I can grow them, they're beautiful.